This is the Formless Podcast, episode number 42. I'm joined here again with Tyler. It's good to have him back, the superhuman.
The superhuman.
Yeah. We're also recording on my phone, so hopefully this transfers well. I, like an idiot, left the recording device that we use at home. And home is 45 minutes away, and I don't have time to run home and turn around and come back. So we're making the best of what we got right now. Tyler just finished his movie.
Yeah, so I just got done recently filming the movie. It was we've talked about it before on the podcast, and it was a script that my friend and I wrote with the intention of making, and a feature-length movie script. And it's a road trip comedy where characters drive from Idaho to Northern California. And so we filmed it. We filmed the movie 3 weeks, April into May. And that's literally consumed my whole life, which was great. It's what I want to do. It's filmmaking's what I want to do. And I was the producer on this and also one of the lead actors, one of the stars. And so I play a character that gets hired to drive two other characters cross country from Idaho to Northern California. So we spent 3 weeks filming it, actually 3.5 weeks filming it. And we had local cast, local crew.
You were on the news.
Yeah, we were on the news. Yeah. We had the local news cover us. We've had a couple other local organizations cover us. But yeah, we were on the news. We had a couple, the one day the news came out, we had a crowd scene we were filming at one of the local parks. And so we had I think we had like 25, 30 extras that day.
Wow.
Some of the days, one day we had like 125 extras. Yeah, so that was for another scene. But the day the news came out, that was about 25, 30 people. And we were in a park filming a scene. And it was really cool. And, filmmaking's what I've always wanted to do. And it's been that's my passion and what I love doing. And so, I just spent 3 weeks doing it. And now we're deep into post-production. And so I don't want to tell too much about the movie because I want people to come watch it in movie theaters, stream it, but it's a road trip comedy. So think Dumb and Dumber meets Grumpy Old Men. And so don't want to have too many spoilers. But that's been my whole life. So been having a lot of fun with that, meeting lots of new people. One of the greatest things that has happened on this film is, I went to film school and I've worked in movies and in the film industry, and you kind of go into this, you kind of get this sense that, okay, so like we have this term in martial arts, right? Like, empty your cup.
Yeah.
Empty your cup. Well, I really had to do this on this movie because I was doing something, making a movie that I've done before many times, but now this is like my movie. Like I'm making with my friend. Like
you're in charge.
I'm in charge. I'm the producer and one of the stars. And so I really had to empty my cup, so to speak, of like all the other, it's like you bring from all the other movie sets I've been on and everything I've learned in film school and in other productions, you have what you learn on these other film sets, and then you bring that to the next film set you're on, the next, and it's constantly rolling over to the next
evolving.
Yeah. And so, but it's interesting because on this one, I definitely emptied my cup of like everything I knew about filmmaking, acting and filmmaking. And I really, how like There's like so in any industry you have like a certain way of doing things like protocol and etiquette, right? Like doing sales.
This is the norm. Yeah.
This is the norm. And like you're a salesman, right? And so like, this is the norm. This is how you do things. Well, so like on a film set, you have like all these kind of like these rules. And of course ours was a non-union film set, but so it's a little bit more relaxed. So you don't have like the union rules of like the strict union rules of like, oh, you know, every 6 hours you have to have a meal for your crew.
Oh, okay.
Which that's a good idea, right? And we did that, but like you would get penalized if that was a union film set, and you have all these like little rules that you try to abide by, even as on a non-union film set. You're still trying to kind of like emulate a union film set. It's good practice.
Okay.
Some of the rules, but some of those things that you do like on a film set and some of the protocol and the etiquette, I had learned, and I've learned throughout the years, and it's the same thing from film set to film set to film set. Like for example, like before you start rolling the camera, the first assistant director will say, okay, sound speeding. And that the sound man goes, recording or speeding, as soon as he pushes the button and his sound equipment's recording. And then you have camera, and the first assistant director will say camera, and the camera operator will hit the recording button on the camera and say, oh, camera speeding.
Oh, okay.
And then so you've got your sound is recording, your camera is recording, and then that's when the director would yell action, and hopefully your actors are ready.
Yeah, they're in their right places and everything.
Yeah. And so you have like all this protocol and ways of doing things on film sets, and they're really good. I mean, they're really good. You want to have a standard of how like we all can do the same thing. You can go on a film set on the East Coast and go on a film set on the West Coast, and they're going to be fairly similar. Yeah. And how they do things. But one of the greatest things on this is with a lot of that, we kept a lot of that protocol and how we do things, obviously. But as far as every film is different, every film set is different. So you on the one hand, you have the same thing, the same protocol and etiquette that should carry over from film set to film set to film set. At the same time, and paradoxically, you have every film is its own thing, and you have to film things a certain way, and you have to have certain ways you do things. And so on this set, it was really great because I got to really empty my cup and be like, well, that's how I've done the last 3 films, and that's how that, etiquette and protocol and those various things. But on this one, like I had to, and my expectations, I had to really empty my cup and be like, okay, this is its own thing that I am producing and one of the stars of. And I really just had to empty my cup on my expectations, on how things are done, maybe how we did it on the last film set.
Versus this one.
Versus this one. Is that kind of making sense?
Yeah,
I might be rambling a little too much.
But also the shoulder responsibility had to be done a lot different.
Oh, yeah.
Because before, this is the first film that you've made that you were in charge of, right?
Produced, yeah.
Yeah, so because before you were always like the hired hand. Correct. So you had a job to do and you had somebody to answer to and like a specific task, correct? And now it's like you're the one calling the shot, making decisions.
Making decisions.
So how was that as opposed to before, where like you were being told what to do, and now you're like, oh no, we're going to do it like this
way, yeah.
As I said,
yeah, because I'm the producer. You know? No, and that goes back to a lot of the protocol and the etiquette. Whereas other film sets, you get people who are in charge who are maybe a little less. They're a little less adventurous in how they want to do things, or a little less. Sometimes you work with people who are more cautious in certain areas and people who are less cautious, as far as how things are done and safety wise. I'm not saying we didn't do anything safe, but it's just like there's sometimes to get the shot on a film set, you have to have some people that are willing to sometimes be a little
more risky.
Not like crazy, not like stupid, but just like risky. And we're making a road trip comedy, so we're constantly filming in a moving van, a moving vehicle. So a little bit more, safety is a thing you got to keep an eye on and make sure we're observing that. But so to answer your question, yeah, there's a lot of ways other people would do things that we did on this film set, and then there's the ways we just like shortcutted and we're like, nope, we're gonna do it, we're gonna get it done, this is how we're gonna do it. We don't. So, for example, one on a film set, a lot of times you have you want to get the camera rolling and the audio equipment recording, all that stuff recording, and then an actor will say their line, and the director might say, "Okay, take it again from the top, from this line in this scene." And then the camera would still stay recording, and the actor would say their lines. Then you'd say, okay, reset. Let's do that again, and now say this line this way, like a little bit more angry or a little bit more happier. Yeah. And there was just all these kind of times where we kind of had our own protocol and how we did things. And it was really kind of cool, to really be able to call those shots and be like, nope, this will be faster to do it this way. Maybe it's not as professional, but it'll be faster, just instead of cutting the camera every single time and resetting
everything. Yeah. And you were kind of under the gun.
Under the gun, always. You're always like on our level, we're, low budget. So we're low budget independent film. So we're always trying to, we're fighting the clock all the time.
Because that's all costing money.
Time is money on a film set. Time is money. Locations, you only have certain time at locations. You might only have a permit for a certain location for 2 hours. And so it's like, we got to rush through this. We just got to get through this.
Yeah.
So it was really cool, having entered the film industry and having, I remember entering the film industry and learning all this protocol and etiquette, and these are how things are done. And now it's kind of flip-flopped. Now I'm kind of the one that, I had all those people that I was learning from when I started.
And now you have other people learning from you.
Yeah, now I have other people learning from me and from the more experienced people. And it's a cool responsibility to kind of shoulder.
Yeah.
And bring on people that we had a couple people that worked regularly on the film who were crew members and actors and actresses, and they had never been on an actual film set. And so to have them come on, and where we live, we don't have a whole lot of filmmaking going on here.
No.
So you don't really have that as a normal, it's not a very common thing. So we got to bring on those people and especially in this area, and get to show them the ropes and how to make a movie.
Give them some experience.
Give them some hands-on experience. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, no, it was a good time, man. It was a perfect. I mean, I emptied my cup on everything, even just about how to get a movie made. Like, you just have to empty your cup. And I told my friend who's the director of the film, I told him a couple 6-7 months ago. I said, hey, we're looking for this amount of money to get this movie made, and we're not getting that amount that we want to get the movie made. So with the amount of money that we have raised, can we make it with this film? And my friend was like, oh, I don't know. He's kind of real cautious. And again, it went back to that empty your cup type thing. Where I was like, well, how much money would it take? Like, how much money would you feel comfortable making this movie with? And it went back to my expectations of having say 3 years ago. I'd be like, oh, well, we can only make this movie if we have this amount of money, right? This X amount of dollars. But then 6 months ago, I was like, well, let's just do it with what we got.
Because at a certain point, you're like, how much longer am I going to wait to get this money?
Yeah.
And what could I be doing
in the meantime?
And it's a good analogy for people. I just talked to a guy the other day who was like, oh, I need to lose a little bit of weight before I start. We're talking about training.
Yeah.
It's like, I'd like to lose a little bit of weight before I start training. And I'm like, why?
Just jump in.
jump in, because if you keep putting you keep dangling that carrot in front of the horse, so to speak, you keep pushing it out there further and further, you're never going to get there. You're never going to get there. You might as well just jump in and you'll lose the weight.
It'll go.
It'll go on its own. And you're going to, if you're going to wait, fine. But you're going to get into it, and you're going to go 6 months down the road, and you're going to go, man, I should have just jumped in this from the get-go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always that, I got to lose. Yeah.
There's always something.
That little bit that you have to do. That
you're like, and I think, because I'm kind of experiencing this now, I think it's like a fear mechanism. It's like an excuse, like, I'm going to wait until I do this, and then I'm going to jump in both feet and go. And you kind of, like, in my experience, I keep finding little things to be like, I need to wait until my car's fixed, or I need to wait until I pay off the kids' braces, or I need to wait. And it's like, how much longer am I going to wait? How much longer am I going to keep waiting for X to happen? So
it's always that one little thing.
Yeah.
If it was just for this, and then we could be good.
Yeah. And at a certain point, like, you just got to go, I guess.
You just got to go with it. Yeah.
So, I mean, is that kind of what happened with you and Luke? Yeah.
My friend. Yeah. We just, it was just this, it was this nebulous amount of, budget that we needed to raise for this film. That was this nebulous amount that it was, we have an idea, what we think we can do this movie for. And but it was like, we're waiting to get that amount. And then we raised a little bit, and then you're waiting and still trying to raise. And it's like, how long are we going to sit on this?
Yeah, because that money's not growing. It's not getting small. It's just sitting there.
If anything,
nothing.
It's going down in value.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So it was really great just to jump in. And I mean, obviously, like, we had to take an honest look at what we were doing and be like, realistically, we want to jump in and just do it, but can we do it with what we have, and quality?
Yeah.
And so we came to that realization we could. And so, I mean, right now I have, I'm so glad, we jumped in, and it's now we're in post-production, and it's one more thing that I've just jumped in and done.
Yeah.
It's a whole new experience.
And have you blown your budget, or is it still there?
Oh God, the budget's gone. We spent it all.
Okay, well, hey.
On the movie, so that's good. That's what it's there for.
Yeah.
You're watching the money go down in the account, and you're like, no, why are we spending so much money? And then you're like, no, that's there to be spent.
That's what it's for.
That's for the movie.
That's what you saved for.
Yeah.
And how long did you raise funds for?
Oh gosh, it was 2 years. We were looking for money for this film. So on the one hand, that you could say that's pretty standard, in 2 years. But then other people we talk to, it's like, geez Louise, like, they're like, one person's like, well, you just need to make the movie. And that person had a big influence on, they told me, you just need to make the movie with what you got. And I was like, okay. Like, and that was the seed.
That was the seed that got it.
That was planted. Yeah. And I was like, what are we waiting on? What amount of money are we waiting? I mean, are we waiting on, are we trying to get $5 million and it ain't coming? No, I'm just using that as an example, but it's not coming. So it's like, okay. Like, how long are we going to wait? Like, how long do we wait until it's like perfect? Like, until you're ready, like.
Yeah. Certain point, you just got to go.
Yeah. And I have heard that at, one of the instructors in our art, Wu Ying Dao, Sensei Hovis, he has said that. He has said that he has said to the effect of, to be a black belt, when you make your move, you should actually be uncomfortable when you're getting ready. Like, the right time is when you're actually uncomfortable to make a move. he said something, and I need to figure out a better way how he words it. But essentially, that's it. If two people are sparring, right? You got, and we're circling, and we're getting ready to go, and it shouldn't be like, okay, like I can read my opponent now. Okay, now I go. Now I'm ready. He has said that when you make your move, you should be uncomfortable. It should be uncomfortable.
I could see that. That makes sense.
And Sensei, and so that kind of ties in with what I was saying with the movie is like we weren't comfortable, we weren't 100% ready, but then we pulled that trigger and said, nope, let's go. Before we're ready, before everything's in perfect alignment.
I mean, once you get it, like once you started. Once the ball started rolling, it was like, okay, well, here we go. Right? It's like you can't jump back on the plane after you jumped off.
Nope, that's right. Just
hope the chute opens.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so and I kept thinking about that because I thought I think that's really a really powerful thing that I'm definitely going to incorporate into my sparring, and in my training. But also in terms of making a movie or starting anything else with anyone is you gotta make that move when you're not 100% comfortable. Of course, we want everything to be perfect. My stance is perfect, and my hands in the right place. My breathing's perfect. Now I'm ready to go. But then your opponent might be making the move before you are,
interrupting you.
So now you're not ready, now you're not at all perfect. But anyways, that's just like a cool little analogy type thing where, if that makes any sense.
No, that is cool.
I've heard Sensei Hovis say that many times.
Yeah. And it makes sense. Because if you wait for the perfect opportunity, you're going to miss it. It's not coming. That perfect opportunity is not going to come.
I mean, it's probably not. If it does, it's going to be such a small window of opportunity.
And it's going to be over faster than you can blink.
Yeah, so there's no perfect time. And now, I've seen the footage from the film. I know it's getting edited. I've seen it, and for a couple of guys that pulled the trigger and said, we're just going to do this with the crew we had, the cast that we had auditions and we got that all figured out, and the equipment we had. And I mean, I'm super proud of this movie. And I'm like, we weren't 100% ready, but we still pulled the trigger. So that's pretty cool.
Right on. And and do you have like an estimation of when it'll be out?
Yeah, so the estimation of when it's going to be out is we are aiming to have a local theatrical release probably next spring. It's like a springtime movie.
Okay.
We filmed it in the spring, and so it feels like I don't think it'd feel right to release it on Halloween.
Not in the summertime?
Yeah, or the summertime.
Awesome. So, that's my lesson. My 2 lessons. Okay. I got private lessons going on. So anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, so it's the plan for the film is that we are going to hopefully get it into local movie theaters.
Okay.
And then after we do our theatrical run, whether we go national movie theaters or not, I don't know at this point, but local movie theaters, and we do our run there, and then we'll go streaming, and Blu-ray, DVD.
And how does that work with streaming? You like just call up Amazon and be like, hey, I got this movie? Or do you submit it to somebody?
I think what you have to do is you have to get a sales agent, somebody that has connections with Netflix, Amazon, whatever.
Oh, okay.
And then they got to get in contact with them and then see, what kind of deal they can cut with for them. Okay. So, but that's the plan. That's down the road, is to get it from after movie theaters if we can, and then go streaming and Blu-ray and then DVD.
Right on. That's a lot more work to do. It's not over yet.
Oh my gosh, just the filming alone is only about halfway. Like, you're about halfway.
Yeah.
So we're knee deep in post-production and just editing and and sound editing and all that. And so it's a lot of fun.
That's, it's familiar. That's really a familiar thing though. Because like your goal is to make the movie, but that's not all. Like, like your goal is to get a black belt. But that's not even the tip of the iceberg yet. You're still climbing, right? That is. There's so many things like that are bigger than what they actually seem.
Yeah.
Right. Life is it's a good mirror for life. You think like, oh, I get the job and I'm good, or I get married and things are good, or I graduate school and I'm good. Everything's set. I got my life's all. I'm set. But it's not that. There's so many other little intricacies that are involved, and so many other little things that like nobody talks about. That you're like, oh, I have to do this. Oh, well, but. Wait, I didn't know about this.
Yeah, come on, that wasn't in the instructions.
Exactly. Like my new job that I have is so funny. I've been about 5 weeks now into this job, and it's the hardest job I've ever had. It's incredibly difficult, and there are times where it's super fun and it's great, and then there are times where I'm just like, I come home and I'm like, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. I'm wiped. But there's so many other little things that I need to do and learn and stuff that I have no idea about. And I about 3 weeks into it, I went to my boss and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing still. Like, I have no idea. I got this tablet that I'm going through and doing the orders and everything. And I'm like, don't even worry about this for at least a year. Like, it's going to take you that long to learn all of the different things that you have to do.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I have an iPad that I take with me everywhere I go at work, and I drive all over the place. My car is only 4 weeks old, 5 weeks old. I got it with 7 miles on it. I have almost 4,000 miles on it now.
Wow.
Really? Yeah,
it's
crazy. It's crazy. I drive in a lot. But the iPad I have has probably 30 apps on it. I've used 3. and they're all like things that you're supposed to use for work.
For the job.
Wow. Yeah. So it's completely overwhelming. But like, I thought, oh, I got the job. I'm good. That's not even half of it. We haven't even scratched the surface of all the different things to do that are required. It's wild. It's just super wild. But but just like the movie, you film the movie, you put it in the can, it's done, but it's not done. There's editing, there's sound, there's marketing,
there's distribution,
there's that, and then you have to get people to come see the movie, and you got the macro version and the micro
version. Yeah. No, but and it's like you said, it's new job, and you've got like all this new, like you've done sales before.
Yeah,
but it's a whole nother ball game, right?
It is, and it's different. It's different, business to business sales. So I sell Coca-Cola products, and there's 150 different kinds of sodas and waters and coffees and stuff. But so you sell the grocery stores, convenience stores, restaurants, all sorts of different stuff. And it's a huge guessing game. So for a weekly account, you're just trying to get from 1 week to the next week, how much stuff are they going to sell? And then like you have bi-weekly accounts or monthly accounts, and then you're trying to guess for an entire month or 2 weeks of what they're going to sell. And you don't want to run out. No one wants to run out because that's missed money. But you don't want to have so much stuff that they are tripping over it, or they can't move it before it expires, because everything has an expiration date now. And some stuff has an expiration date of like 2 months. Some of it has a year. Some of it has longer. Some of it's coded and you have to decipher the code. Some of it's plain as day. You know, it's just wild. It's wild. But I'm figuring it out slowly. It's good times. It's good times.
It is good.
Yeah. So I'm glad you're back. This is been a little hectic trying to stay on schedule and make, but we're back at it. You know, yeah, we're doing it. Going to continue to do it.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. So
yeah. Got to get back into. That's the other thing that sucks about the job. The new job is just trying to get in here more. I'm lucky if I can do once a week.
With the new job.
With the new job. Yeah. So I'm trying to whittle that down and get comfortable, because I have a set schedule every day. Well, not a set schedule. I have a set list of customers to go see every day.
Every day? Wow.
Yeah. Well, Monday through Friday. But like sometimes I can do it in like 5 hours. Sometimes I do it in 12. Like Friday, it was a 12-hour day.
Wow.
Just because things were messed up and I had to fix it, and that's just the way it is. So you're done when you're done. You know, sometimes you can skirt it. You know, there's some customers that you might see only for 5 or 10 minutes, but you know, on the next time around, you're going to spend an hour and a half there. It just ebbs and flows that way. It's wild, but it's good. It's good.
Empty your cup, right?
Empty your cup. Yeah, everything's good. Everything's good. It has to be.
It has to be.
Yeah. Yeah, friends, a couple of things that we wanted to talk about real quick. I did a podcast. I was a guest on a podcast called Freedom from Anger. Go check it out. I shared it in the stories. I'll post a link to it in the Facebook group. It was a lot of fun, and we're going to have a special guest on soon, hopefully, from that podcast. He is I think he's a psychologist. Or a clinical psychologist. He deals with people with anger issues and anxiety and addiction problems, and talks a lot about things to do that you can do, exercises you can do to overcome those problems. But I think he'd have some really good insight as to physical activities, such as martial arts, what you can do to improve your mental health.
Huh.
So good times there. As always, reach out to us on Facebook, Formless Podcast Group, Instagram at the Formless Podcast, on Twitter at Formless_the, or you can email us at theformlesspodcast@gmail.com. Take care. Till next time.
See ya.